Growing up in an Asian country, my love-hate relationship with mathematics started pretty early. At the age of 6, I already have my own abacus. Although it is fun to slide the abacus on the table with its beads, it's not so fun to learn the proper way of using it and do mathematics. Now you might think asking a young girl to master abacus quickly and compute 48 plus 87 is too much. Little did you know that there's such a thing called abacus system of mental calculation. Yes, not only did I have to learn how to use it, I had to memorize and internalize the abacus so that I can do additions and subtractions without a physical one. In case you don't believe me, here is the certificate for my ability in mental calculation, issued by my kindergarten. Move on to elementary school, the math and memorization for math only gets more and more serious. Like all of you here, the times table is engraved on my heart. Okay, maybe a little more than your regular times table. And then the sine cosine ratios, cause why not? The adolescent depression hits me differently. I kept questioning myself. You only know 7 digits of pi? Come on, Ewan, you can do better than this, like the boy sitting next to you. Fast forward to high school, I realized that I need to be a more well-rounded student, so I continued to memorize, this time for chemistry and physics as well. The chemist here should know what these numbers are for, right? After graduation from high school, I made a life-changing decision, go to university in Canada. Don't know what's waiting for me. I studied mathematics at a place of mine. Oops, wrong place. It's in that place I heard a shocking statement from a physics professor. Cheat sheet is allowed for exams. That's mind-blowing for me. Immediately, my thoughts were flooded with easy A's and more time to party, to socialize, or to Netflix, let me be real. But at the same time, I was kinda sad. I just realized that I spent the past 14 years memorizing something that's pointless, where I could have watched TV, gamed. That blue didn't last long. Soon I happily accepted my university life with lots and lots of cheat sheets. 4 years later, I got a piece of paper, thought I did a good job. And then one day, I was decluttering my notes. I found a dozen of cheat sheets. They're my most familiar strangers. Here are two of them. One is for a statistics course. I could only write math formula, but no word explanations or examples on the cheat sheets. The other is for a first year bio course. I was allowed to write anything. Two very different cheat sheets, right? But you know what's the common thing here? I put a lot of effort in making these, but now I don't remember much. I don't remember what it means by epistasis. I don't remember how to use any formula in this sheet, although I did get an A plus for this course. My exam performance was remarkable, but does that make me a good data analyst? Or did I just pay thousands of tuition fees to get these useless sheets? Oh, one more. This is what made me start this inquiry project with the questions. Should we allow cheat sheets on exams? Is memorization required for learning? And due to my background and the differences across subjects, here I will focus on memorization for math. For quite a few decades, memorization is seen as the devil in pedagogy. To support this, lots of research showed the benefit of reducing memorization for tests and allowing cheat sheets. Some studied the correlation between cheat sheet and good exam scores and found out that cheat sheet leads to better exam performance at the comprehension level or the understanding level of Bloom's taxonomy. Others investigated students' anxiety level during exams. Not surprisingly, cheat sheet largely reduced students' anxiety. Lastly, research showed that students are more optimistic and realistic of exam results when they are allowed to use notes prepared by themselves. Sounds pretty promising, eh? But where is learning? Here I see happier students who are good predictors of their own tests on surface level understanding. But how about the learning that stays with you and makes you a better human being? It's hard to define the action of learning, so let's look at the goal of learning mathematics, which is another topic that's under constant debate. What do we want to achieve through math education? Good grades? Why every school in every country teaches mathematics? Of course, someone will argue that numeracy is important in day-to-day life. as well as some concepts such as slope for analyzing graphs. But why trigonometry? Why polynomial factorization? Why complex numbers? As a math teacher, I tried hard. I tried really hard to justify the real life application of all types of mathematics. I asked students to measure the height of a tree with tangent ratios, to design a glass window using linear functions. But I also kinda know that they will never need to measure the height of any tree in real life, never design arts in such a nerdy way. Then why? This is a question that I cannot easily answer, so I did more research. Although the role of mathematics in our society is growing, it is also increasingly done by machines. So here is a list of 21st century skills that we may achieve through doing math: critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration across networks, agility and adaptability, effective communication. I dug deeper into critical thinking and problem solving because that's the two terminologies constantly associated with mathematics. And indeed, research shows that mathematically trained students take more time to think and to avoid biases, and they are not distracted by particular pieces of information so as to stay focused on uncovering the real underlying relationships. These are some good qualities to have. Not sure about you, but I am convinced to study mathematics. The next question is how to train students mathematically. Rote learning is always the target of cheat sheet supporters. They say this is learning without understanding, but others argue that repeated learning and committing things learned to memory is not the same as rote learning or learning without understanding. In fact, repetition can be a route to understanding. I will use myself as an example here. I was once asked to prove that square root of 2 is irrational. Pause the video and think how you would approach this. No fancy math is needed. For me, I decided to try the opposite, which is to assume that square root of 2 is rational. That's actually the correct first step. I am not born with such instinct. Let's assume the opposite. It only comes from practice. And then I got stuck, so I looked up the answer. I will not go over the proof here, but as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. After reading and memorizing the answer, I tried the question again without answer key, and then I tried to show square root of 3 is irrational, root 5 is irrational, and so on. I did not come up with the proof myself. All what I did was rote memorization. Many educators hate it. But let me show you exactly what's happening in my brain during this process. In the beginning, the neurons in my brain are not wired correctly for me to come up with the proof. While reading the answer, the sensory experience produced changes to the dendritic spine of my neurons, which then fires a long-term potentiation. This signal will cause more changes to the neuron, including addition and rearrangement of receptors, and then transmit the signal to the correct group of neurons that tells me how the proof should be done. The fact that our neural network can change is called neuroplasticity. And more research has shown that the connection between neurons is strengthened by retrieving an active recall instead of just reading the answer over and over. Some call this the quizzing effect. We remember things better when we are forced to recall them during a test. Now I have some research to back me up for voting against cheat sheets. I don't just want good marks and stress-free exams. I want my brain wired correctly for critical thinking, problem-solving skills that will benefit me in all parts of life. So what should I do now as a teacher? I will teach all of you here how to use abacus. Just kidding. Theory is theory, and every student learns in a different way. I am planning to survey more teachers and students during my practicum, see what's their opinion on using or not using cheat sheets. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.